This is Chuck Fresh from Indie Originals Live. You can hear this program every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, featuring the hottest independent music and artists from across the globe. I'm telling you, this music is definitely better than any other nonsense you're going to hear on those other radio stations. Indie Originals Live every Friday at 9, only here on the AM/FM 24/7 radio network.
You know who I might be, but that's not important. What I've come here to tell you today, that is, if you are an independent creator, if you make movies, if you're an author, if you make music, you should enter the Indie Originals Live Talent Competition. Hundreds of categories and lots of prizes will be awarded. But the clock is ticking. Visit www.indieoriginalslive.com right now. www.indieoriginalslive.com. Live from Central Florida, it's Indie Originals Live with your hosts, Felicia and Fresh. Tonight's musical guests, a bunch of incredibly talented indie artists you may not have heard of before, but who will most likely be tomorrow's biggest stars.
Telephone.
spring, Felicia? It's Colors of... People must hate when I sing along with their songs, don't they? Colors of Consciousness by Melbourne, Florida is this spring on IOL. So, hey, welcome to the show. This is Indie Originals Live. I think it's like 33, something like that. My name is Chuck Fresh, and I'm joined by the recently anointed social media influencer, Felicia B. Go ahead, Felicia. Yeah, so how's that feel to be a social media influencer?
How should it feel?
You're like super popular, like celebrity.
I know, like my Facebook is like getting likes like every, I don't know, couple of minutes.
Yeah, find Felicia B. What's the official Felicia B page? It's Felicia B something online or something. Felicia B Indies. We'll link it to our thing. What's the exact? So everybody who's listening can follow her. It's Felicia B. It's Felicia. Felicia Indie Originals on Facebook, and she's on Instagram. And are you on Twitter yet? We got to Twitterify you. So, yeah, Chuck Fresh with you along with Felicia. And as you can probably hear, listen. Oh, now they don't start chirping, right?
Just when you ask them to chirp.
So we're out here in the jungle because, we go to all ends of the earth to bring you the best indie music on earth. And, that's what we do for you. You can thank us later. We'll do a Kickstarter or something. My PayPal is chuck@chuckfresh.com if you want to make a donation because you're just a great person. But, the spring. Great band, man, headed by Manny Fawcett and Matthew Rigsby, two bros who, believe it or not, found each other on Craigslist, right? History was made as they fused together two vastly different music backgrounds to create this unique sound that's seriously captivating the world, for sure. Some of their influences have been named, including John Denver. I got to tell you, are you a big John Denver fan, Felicia?
No, not really.
John Denver was one of my greatest influences for one of the projects I work on, that shall remain nameless.
Okay.
Big fan of John Denver, for sure.
Are you going to sing something for us?
No. And also one of the Springs influences is Bob Dylan. And you know how I totally don't get Bob Dylan? We've talked about this before. We'll save that discussion. Dylan's one of these guys who should have been a fry cook, right? But whatever. But the Spring... These guys belong on huge stages all across the world. I just got some really dirty looks. Their 2018 premiere EP, Ebb and Flow, and their first single, Truth and Desire, is just mind-blowing awesome, for sure. The last song was some newer spring, right? Some Irish spring. No, fresh spring. Wait, that's my name. It's called Colors of Consciousness, and the video is fabulous. Have you seen the video, Felicia?
I have, and I really like these guys a lot.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it looks self-produced. Looks like they did it themselves, but it's pro.
They did a great job.
Yeah, it's totally pro, man. Awesome. You check it out. It's the band is called The Spring. The song is called Colors of Consciousness. Check it out on YouTube yourself. I think it's on Facebook, too. But, speaking of Melbourne, Felicia, they used to call this place Mel Boring, right?
Very, very true.
Before we got here?
Probably.
Right. Now, IndieCon, you know about IndieCon. It's really shaking things up around here in Central Florida. Tickets are flying off the digital shelves on Eventbrite, Felicia. We may have a sellout soon, believe it or not. I never thought that this year, our first year with IndieCon, would be a sellout, but it looks like it's heading that way. Tremendous response in the music competition, too, which is still open, as a matter of fact, for another week or so. So if you're an indie band or artist, jump in now. If you're a singer-songwriter, you have an opportunity, like a great chance of winning an award and becoming an official and legitimate award-winning artist right now at indieoriginalslive.com. You can get there by Indie Originals, too. But enter now. You got about a week left if you're listening to this live on one of the 2,000 or so radio stations we're playing on, or the podcast or whatever, wherever you're picking this thing up. So indieoriginalslive.com. Winners will be announced at IndieCon 2019 on June 15th, right here in Central Florida. So make sure you get your tickets for that, too. That's on Eventbrite. We tagged all that stuff on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, blah, 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 all those pages. So make sure your face is in the place and get your tickets now. Felicia, what's coming up next?
We met and interviewed Moonlight-Drive-in on a casino boat.
Gambling?
Gambling.
Yeah. Did you win anything?
I did not, but I put $12 in a slot machine and played that $12 for an hour and a half.
There you go.
Anyway, we met them on a casino cruise. They were playing on that on the boat. And boy, oh boy, they're such an amazing group of talented kids. We absolutely love them. Shane, he is their drummer, and he claims to be the spawn of Def Leppard's drummer's left arm.
I just got a visual.
And he shreds guitar and slaps the bass. Grayson, well, he's from Nashville. and he moved to Florida back in 2009. He's kind of anti-music commuting, they'd say.
Yeah, everybody's going to Nashville.
So he made the smart move to leave. Now, Greg, he did orchestra in middle school, go Greg, and in the 7th grade, he was touring with a professional steel drum middle school band. What middle school has a steel drum band? I need to see that.
Jamaica. Did you know most steel drums are made here in Florida?
I had heard that.
When I was in the Bahamas looking for a steel drum, I heard they were made in Florida. I was so disheartened, man. I'm like, this is so phony. But it's so cool, though.
It is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Love. We need to go on a cruise.
Hurry up.
Okay. So Greg, he spent a few years in the Navy and did some volunteering with Musicians on Call, where musicians perform bedside performances for patients, family, and staff.
Oh, that's cool.
It is really cool. Greg found May Tatro, and they soon discovered that they are an amazing team. True dat. So we interviewed them back on episode 26. You can take a listen. You can find that episode on Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and just about everywhere. So let's listen to world premiere of a brand new Moonlight-Drive-in song. This is called Waffle Home. I'd like some waffle fries.
Hey.
By Moonlight-Drive-in on IOL.
That's May Tatro with Moonlight-Drive-in on Indie Originals Live. Like that one. Good luck getting that one out of your head, right? Hey, from beautiful Chester, Pennsylvania, not too far outside of Philly. Well, it's practically Delaware, but don't hold that against Terretta-Storm, people. Influenced by rock, pop, and gospel, Terretta has this really cool infused sound that's basically unlike anyone else, you know? You've heard Terretta on this show before, and she's been in the studio again, and that's dangerous, man. Her and her band crushed it. Amazing video, too, speaking of videos. It's like a mini theatrical movie with great acting and stuff, too. We loved it. Check out this song. It's called Right There by Terretta-Storm on Indie Originals Live.
Here I am again, I'm all by myself. Like a fool, I gave my heart to someone else. Now I'm all alone, trying to find my way. Thought that you were home, but not today. I'm trying to find myself. I got some baggage that I've got to let go. I'm trying to find my way, and I thought that you would be right there. Yes, I thought that you would be right there. All in this mess, I lost myself. Got to be me and nobody else. You said this thing was bigger than us. You said it was truth, but I don't think so. I'm trying to find myself. I got some baggage that I've got to let go. I'm trying to find my way, and I thought that you would be right there. Yes, I thought that you would be right there. Oh, right there. Baby, right I'm trying to find myself. I got some baggage that I've got to let go. I'm trying to find my way, and I thought that you would be right there. Yes, I thought that you would be right there.
You found it. the hottest source for all new original music you haven't heard anywhere else. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL, with your host Chuck Fresh. We'll be back with more killer tunes right after these short words. Authors, filmmakers, producers, anybody that has anything to do with creating independent stuff, comic book authors, musicians. Make sure you take advantage of the 2019 Indie Originals Live Talent Competition, going on now at www.indieoriginalslive.com. This is your exclusive opportunity to become an official award-winning independent creator. To use that in your marketing, enter today at www.indieoriginalslive.com. I'm Casey Kasem, and if I were still alive, I'd be listening to Indie Originals Live.
You know, Chuck, I like some country music, so it's only right that I introduce the next artist. He's country singer Marshall and goes by one name, Marshall.
Whoa, he's a one name?
He's a one-name guy?
Madonna?
Like Madonna, like
Elvis?
Cher, like Elvis, sure.
Wow.
All of them. His tunes are packed with soul and grit. Marshall's solo debut, Singers and Saints, features 6 tunes produced by 2-time Grammy nominee Travis Wyrick. It flowed out of Marshall when he moved to Nashville after the brutal end of a long romance.
Been there, done that.
How many times?
Not with you yet.
He has played bass and sung in both rock and country groups, played thousands of shows, and recorded half a dozen studio albums. And now it's all about Marshall and his own road to fame and fortune. Check out Tell Me a Secret by up-and-comer Marshall on IOL.
But
household name Marshall. Hey, he's got one name. He's a household name, right? Tell Me a Secret by Marshall on Indie Originals Live. You know, we tag everybody on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, everybody who's on the show. We also add them to our playlist on Spotify. So check out Spotify, too. Just search Indie Originals Live, and you'll find every song we've ever played on the show, assuming they're on Spotify. Some of them aren't, believe it or not, but, you know, it happens. People getting their thing together, you know what I'm saying? Now, listen, I need to remind you about IndieCon, okay? You didn't get your tickets. You're going to be in Central Florida in the middle of June. June 15th is a Saturday night right here in Melbourne, Florida. You can witness, I think, 7 of the coolest indie bands you've ever seen before. You can get your tickets online right now at indieoriginalslive.com. And if you had not entered the contest, you can become an award-winning musician, an award-winning band, an award-winning singer-songwriter. We even have categories for best music video at www.indieoriginalslive.com. Let's throw that plug in there. Now listen, this is important, okay, people? Out of Rhode Island, if you're driving right now, pull over. We're on a whole bunch of radio stations all over the world. And if you're driving on Friday night, it's probably 9 p.m. somewhere, 6 p.m., what, Western Pacific? What do they call that? Western Pacific? Isn't that a railroad? Tequila's kicking in. Out of Rhode Island, that's a state, ladies and gentlemen. And now tooling about Nashville, that's a city in Tennessee. It's like geography lesson 101. I don't know these things. We've played Kim-Petrarca on this show before, and she was featured on our Best of 2018 show, which is, there's 2 of them. There's episodes 17 and 18. So if you're new to the show, check out episodes 17 and 18. You hear some of the greatest, not that all the other episodes don't have great indie music, but you know what I'm saying. But man, what a voice this woman has, right? Think, I don't know, like Natalie Merchant is the first thing that comes to my head. In her prime, right? Not now, not like 2019 Natalie Merchant, but Natalie Merchant, is she still alive? We'll look at it. Natalie Merchant, she's still alive. Crossed with a little Carole King, right? Peppered with some Karen Carpenter and the power and passion of Pat Benatar in her prime.
She rocks.
I'm telling you, she is that good. It is a friggin' crime that she is, I was going to say something else, but we're on national radio. It's a crime that she isn't packing stadiums globally, ladies and gentlemen. She is that good. Kim-Petrarca's voice, I'm going on record saying this, is among the best I've ever heard. Not just on this show, but ever. And it needs to be heard, people. So spread the word, yo. Check out the title track from the Waited Here EP. This is Kim-Petrarca on IOL.
Another year has come and gone, but you still won't let me in. All these choices that you've left unmade, will our love ever win? My hardest times you disregard, as you'd rather not recall. The sleepless nights, the tears, the fights, the writing on the wall. Time can mend a broken heart, but it can break the weight in two. And the ashes of the mess we made, I'm waiting here, I've waited here for you.
The only thing more exciting than a documentary narrated by me is Indie Originals Live with Chuck Fresh and Felicia B. Find us online at www.indieoriginals.com.
I can tell you that there is no collusion when I say Indie Originals Live is the best program. Believe me, Chuck Fresh is the Tim Apple of indie music, okay? And listen, I'm not the only dictator who listens to Indie Originals either. Putin, Kim, Dick Cheney, they all listen to Indie Originals Live with Chuck Fresh and Felicia. Pathetic Pandora, fake music. Angry Apple, fake music. It's really a conspiracy when you think about it. Make music great again. Listen to Indie Originals Live. As you know, I'm a stable genius, okay? Indie Originals Live.
Way back in 2010, a few kids in a garage got together to write and perform some original tunes with meaning, substance, and creativity. And what happened was magic. Think alternative mainstream with catchy earworm melodies and harmonies. And you've got purple? That's the word purple.
Does it have a question mark after?
It has a question mark at the end.
Purple?
Like purple? Yeah. Good luck getting this one out of your head. Check out Gone by Purple on IOL.
I see the way you treat her. She's full of despair. Every night at home, she pulls out her hair, and it's all because of you. She's scared to leave, but you still say she loves you too. I saw you when you met her. You were such a better man. Everything she needed, you gave her all you had. She's long gone after all we've been through. She's long gone and now she's with you. I'm still here after all we've been through, but she's still gone and now she's with you. I could have done way better, but it's all in the past, and all things done can't come undone. It's time to face the facts. I guess it's all because of me. I drove her away. I guess it's time to let it be. She's long gone
You found it. The hottest source for all new original music you haven't heard anywhere else. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL, with your host Chuck Fresh. We'll be back with more killer tunes right after these short words. Look, indie music is our thing. Shoot, it's our life. I'm Chuck Fresh, the host of Indie Originals Live. We're a radio show and podcast heard on over 15 radio stations all across the U.S. and all over the world on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and places I can't even remember. So I listened to a bunch of indie shows before I created Indie Originals, and I was kind of disappointed, to be honest. Many were obviously pay-for-play, which has its place. Others were a little too eclectic, playing music that you might not be ready for your world. They're kind of like people who are into jazz. They don't have a clue about music, but they want to be into something, so they go, I'm into jazz. You know what I'm saying? I know that's me. So we scoured the internet using Reverb Nation, Bandcamp, and we found what we thought were the best indie songs no one else was playing. And man, we found hundreds of songs that literally give us chills. Some of the bands we play on Indie Originals have less than 100 Facebook followers. But you know what? We don't care. We don't care about social media followers. All we care about is your music. These songs are awesome. Listen for yourself. Episodes 17 and 18 are our first best of shows. Begin there, and you too will be hooked. Amazing music by little-known artists. It's really all about the music. So we decided people needed to be heard. So we created the Indie Originals Music Competition. We're listening to hundreds of songs and making positive notes on all of them, even if they're jazz. We're finding something we like about each song. When you enter our competition, we'll write at least a short paragraph praising your song. And you can use that in your marketing and promotional materials. Put it on Reverb Nation and Bandcamp as an editorial review. And we'll link your Reverb Nation, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube page, or whatever to our site for an entire year. Legitimate backlinks will help increase your internet searchability, so you'll get even more listens. And this year only, we're giving all entries selected laurels, just like the big film festivals, right? Every single song will be eligible for selected categories. That's a pretty big deal. And again, that's this year only. Won't be able to do that next year. And some of the entries will be played on our national radio show and global podcast. There's no other music competition anywhere that offers you all this. No one. Go ahead and look. But the clock is ticking, folks. The competition closes in a week or two. So enter your song or music video today. Details at www.indieoriginalslive.com. Indie Originals Live. That's INDIE originalslive.com. Hey, I can't wait to listen to your track. Chuck Fresh out.
All the cool kids are listening to this show. This is Indie Originals Live with Chuck Fresh and Felicia on the Indie Originals Radio Network.
Who's that? Bart Simpson? Dude. All right, now, I need to switch into country music mode here. Who's that guy that does that country countdown? He's real dark.
I don't know his name.
I think I just said a bad word, but I didn't mean to say that on purpose. I meant to say country, okay? Kentucky native. We're on national radio. I need to be careful. Kentucky native Hannah-Ellis is creating forward-thinking pop country music that got her named one of CMT's Next Women of Country, as well as one of Rolling Stone's Artists to Watch. That's a big deal. Growing up in tiny Campbellsville, Kentucky, Hannah sang in every local competition she could get in, eventually leading to her to compete in Season 8 of The Voice. She was on The Voice, Felicia.
That's awesome.
Right? You can see Hannah out this year on the CMT Next Women of Country Tour with Claire Dunn and Cassidy Pope. Be looking for new music to be released in the spring, right? For now, check out Your Woman by Hannah-Ellis on IOL.
I'm a southern saying on a church marquee. I'm a little bit flirty with tequila and me. I'm level-headed till I'm not. I can't sleep when I'm hot. I'm an FM radio turned up loud. I live big city, but I talk small town. You could say that I'm a lot. Add it all up and you got your woman. I'm your woman. And baby, you're my man. And I'm a loving. You're good loving. Don't you know that I am? I got the title, got the attitude. Toyota running every yellow light. When I think about you, I got a one-track mind. I fit in with all your boys, but my black dress is always on point. I'm head over feet, heart skipping a beat. The way that you look at me, I feel lucky to be your woman. I'm your woman, and baby you're my man. And I'm loving your good loving. Don't you know that I am? I got the title, got the attitude, showing up in every room, working at me and you energy. More than anything, man, I love to be your woman. I'm your woman. Yeah. I'm your woman. Oh, I'll show you what forever means. Stick with you through everything. You're never gonna wonder if you're the one for me. You're the one for me, and I'll always be your woman. Yeah. I'm your woman. Yeah. Your woman. I'm your woman. And baby, you're my man. And I'm loving your good loving. Don't you know that I am? I got the title, got the attitude, showing up in every room, working at me and you energy. More than anything, man, I love to be your woman. I'm your woman. Yeah. More than anything, man, I love to be your woman. I'm your woman.
This is the hottest independent music show in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live.
Yesterday I heard you call my brother. Guess you couldn't help but wonder, asking if the songs are right. Feature where I owe you. You won't ever
Yeah. Man, tell me that voice isn't like melted butter on a hot summer day. It's that smooth, right? She's country but poppy, but easy listening, just simply awesome. Honestly, that's one of those songs you pop in the car on a nice spring day and drive out to the country to remember just how great life is, right? Not many songs can do that, but For the Record by Montana-Modderman is her name. Montana-Modderman. That's a pretty cool name. She'll take you on a journey for sure. You'll be hearing a bunch from Montana. I keep wanting to call her Monica. Montana-Modderman real soon. That's For the Record on Indie Originals Live. Hey, just a reminder one more time that Indie Originals Talent Competition, that song should definitely be in it. We're accepting music entries from independent musicians from all over the world at indieoriginalslive.com. It closes in about a week or so after you're hearing this on the radio on one of the 15 radio stations all across the United States. And thousands of podcast providers, including iHeartRadio and iTunes and Spreaker and Spotify and the bazillions of places we're playing all over the world, and people are listening to this song. So thank you to our loyal listeners. Thank you for all the artists, all the indie artists who produce all this awesome music that make this show possible. We go through a ton of music, man. We found a lot of this stuff on Reverb Nation. Actually, there is a competition that we're holding on Reverb Nation through Reverb Nation right now to get your song played on this show, but also we're fast-tracking the people who enter the competition, and a lot of those songs are ending up on this show, too, on Indie Originals Live for actually global airplay. So get your stuff together and shoot it on over to indieoriginalslive.com. Make sure you enter the competition, the unique opportunity in year one to become an award-winning independent artist. And we'll even give you a positive blurb, a paragraph you can use in your marketing, your social media pages, even your Reverb Nation page. So check it out, indieoriginalslive.com. Be right back right after this.
You've probably heard of a bunch of work-at-home scams. Most of them are crappy sales jobs, and some actually make money by asking you to pay them to get involved. No way I'm doing that. I'm not that stupid. I've checked into all of them. What if I told you there is one legit work-from-home opportunity? And I've actually done this one myself. I'm Indie Originals host Chuck Fresh. I've been teaching Chinese children English from my freaking studio and earning up to $4,300 a month. I have check stubs to prove it. It's crazy. No, you don't have to know a lick of Chinese. I don't. And this company provides the lessons plans and everything for you. It's that stupid easy. Set your own schedule and work when you want. I have to admit, since China is 12 hours ahead of New York, the hours can be a little freaky, but it's a great way to supplement a band gig, a recording project, or even your day job. All you need is a college degree in like anything, basket weaving, music, who cares? And you need a computer with a webcam, but who doesn't have one of those now? And you have to like dealing with 5 to 10-year-old kids. Hey, that's no problem for me. My wife says I act 5. VIP Kid is the global leader in online education with over 500,000 students and more than 60,000 teachers. And they are growing like crazy, and they need you. Listen, for more scoop, including some really informative videos that describe this whole deal in only a way that I can, visit my website, www.eslgig.com. That's Ernie, Sam, Larry, Gig. Just like a gig, a music gig. ESLgig.com, and check it out for yourself. VIP Kid, man. Great gig. Earn some extra money and have a lot of fun while you're doing it. ESLgig.com. Check it out.
It's a really good gig, man. How do you think we pay for the show? For real. Some of my best friends are 4- and 5-year-old Chinese kids. That's not like weird or anything, is it? It's just my mental state for real. I don't know. Felicia understands. Listen, all the way from Germany comes this new up-and-coming sensation in the American scene. I wish we could have had her at IndieCon, but it didn't work out. Maida has been compared to Melissa Etheridge, for which Maida performs this big tribute to in her live performances. As a matter of fact, I think she was or will be on that crazy annual music cruise that Melissa Etheridge does every year, which we're dying to go to. For real. Grammy Award-winning producer heard about Maida in Germany and said, hey, why don't you come to Nashville to record your new single? And she did. And now she's been, I guess, hanging around here ever since, right? Yep. Thank goodness we didn't build that wall, huh? Oh, that doesn't count for Germany. Never mind. Anyway, here's this is her her latest single. It's called Last Call. The artist is Maida from Germany. And this is actually Last Call on Indie Originals Live. Check it out.
are the only thing that light up our way.